versatile dish that's gonna change your kitchen. Stir fry. This is such an overly used, sometimes ambiguous word that sometimes I know I relate to, like a Mexican dish or a fajita meal or something like that. But a stir fry, in essence, in my opinion, is when you take a pan and you saute some veggies, add some grains, add some seasoning. You can add meat if you want, you don't have to. You can even stir fry up some veggies and just leave them like that. So in essence, just a saute. But to me, a stir fry is when you add in the grains and some seasoning. So I have some veggies here. And I have some of my veggie broth. So I'm gonna get, let's see, I think this is pretty warm. I'm gonna get a little rough chop on some peppers, some broccoli, carrots. You can add whatever you have, squash, asparagus, zucchini, and whatever scraps you have, remember to put them in your bag. And these will make more broth for next time. Don't waste anything. If you wanted to make a really good broccoli dish, you could just saute up some broccoli in some water, some garlic, and then once it's soft, or even use broccolini, the thin broccoli flowers with all the leaves on. When you saute them down in a lot of garlic, you can add some red pepper flakes to it if you want, and it cooks really well. And then when you're done, you pull it off and you put some lemon juice on top. And then you can toss that with anything. Keep it as a side dish. I'll try to make a video and add that to the course, but just know that I'll put the recipe online so that you can have it. But that is from one of my family's favorite restaurants in Richmond, Virginia. We've imitated Edo Squid's broccoletti as much as I possibly could figure out. All right, let's get this started. I'm going to add some veggie broth. You want some liquid. You don't need to have broth. You can use water. You can use coconut oil if you want to give it a different coconut flavor. I don't use olive oil anymore. This broth is so flavorful and it adds so many different depths of flavor to something I'm already cooking, and there's no need to add any more. If you want, you can add the hard veggies first. So probably traditionally I would add, so you can throw this in the bag as well. I would add my carrot first, soften that up a little bit, and then add the broccoli and the pepper. It cooks pretty fast once the carrot's softened enough, but I'll chop these down so they're like little matchsticks. And they won't take a whole lot of time to cook up. It's not that bad to always have some texture in your meat. I'm cooking something on the back stove as well for another video. I always have carrots. I most always have broccoli. We probably have a broccoli dish once a week. The fiber in broccoli is really good. If you can't have a lot of vitamin K and you have to stay away from the dark greens, make sure you have a list of veggies that you can have. You know, if zucchini is better for you, or if that still has a lot of K in it, go for the yellow squashes. The butternut squash might be a really good stir fry for you to make. Just have a list ready of, and this is something else I'll try to put up on the site, some non-vitamin K go-to veggies for my customers that can't have too much of the dark greens. All right. Let's see what we got here. Now this is going to in essence steam. Turn that baby up. Now most chefs and most cooking videos that you see, put those in the freezer, keep adding to it. When the bag's full, you can make veggie broth. Check out the video. Most chefs will put salt on every layer as they make their dishes. Now if you're going to use these vegetables and use like a soy sauce or a teriyaki sauce on top, don't add any sauce to them. The flavor in the broth and their natural flavors is going to be fine. Too much salt and then that salty soy sauce on top will be way too much sodium and salt. You probably won't be able to eat it. If you're adding other flavors, just be cognizant of what you're doing to it afterwards. So I'll probably put a little salt in here, maybe a little bit of, you can always put some red pepper flakes, some Cajun seasoning, and then if you want to do a fajita, I have a recipe for a fajita blend for my stir fry, which these are some of the same vegetables that I use. Maybe I'll add some more peppers and more onions, and then once we cook the veggies down, I'll throw in my pre-made quinoa and we'll get it all blended up. This is one of those 10-minute meals that I was talking about, that if you, on your cooking day of the week, you have your grains already prepared, you come home, and if you wanted to, on your prep day or cook day or whatever you want to call it, maybe it's a Sunday, whatever your day off is, you wanted to cook your veggies already down or cut them down. You don't need to cook them. You could cook them and then you could eat it for a couple days, but if you wanted to cut them and prep them so that you didn't have to do that 5 minutes of work that I just did, you could have your broccoli all cut down and separated so that all you need to do is throw all your veggies in a pan and just start cooking away. Remember that you want to eat as many colors of the rainbow as possible. So each time I cook a stir fry, I try to have some reds, greens, orange, carrots. You can throw anything in here. You can throw handfuls of frozen, I always have frozen spinach. You can throw frozen spinach in the mix. Whatever you feel in the mood for, and you can season it accordingly. Again, I'm putting salt on it because I'm not using soy. Not tonight, anyway. Soy sauce is really interesting. I always thought it was so complex, or it came in a bottle. I needed to buy soy sauce. It's just some rice wine vinegar. It's soy sauce, or you can use a tamari, which is a gluten-free soy sauce. Ginger and garlic, and then you can even cheat if you wanted to. You can use powdered or dry spiced ginger and dry garlic if that's what you have, if you don't want to go to the grocery store and buy garlic, or if you're out, or whatever it may be. So you just heat it up, and then I keep that in a side dish. I have some in here from earlier. So I keep it on the side, so that when we want to toss everything together, sometimes I'll have a meat, a veggie, and the grain all separate, depending who wants how much of what. You know, sometimes it's just easier to have 3 pots, and then you can store it in 3 different containers as well. So if I wanted to make this a soy sauce tonight, a teriyaki sauce, I already have some made. Another thing you can do is, I have pesto made as well. This particular pesto I think was a spinach, garlic, cashew. That smells amazing. So your stir fry, you could saute up your veggies, add in your grains, and throw some of your prep pesto on it. I'd probably put the pesto on right at the very end. You don't want it to cook too much because you want it to be raw. The best thing about pesto is it's all your greens. If you put lemon in it, it's all nice and raw and fresh, and you don't want to cook, and the nuts are raw too. You don't want to cook it up too much. So this is how you can see the stir fry is just so versatile. You can make a burrito bowl and you can make meat or fish if you want to. And you can add beans to the end. You can add your rice, add your fajita seasoning, just like if you go to that Chipotle, or you just want it like the Baja tacos that are down here in Florida, or in a bowl. You don't even need the tortilla. You can just have the beans. I do veggie most of the time, so I do beans, I'll do some guacamole, some salsa, all kinds of brown rice, and there's usually some cilantro, lime, and it's magical. So you can also do that with your stir fry, by stir frying up your fajitas, which is traditionally onions and peppers. This looks about done. The broccoli gets really green, and it doesn't need to soften. It doesn't need to be flimsy. You just want to get a little bit of that moisture in there, and you are good. I just want to taste one of my carrots to see if they're, again, you don't need to cook it down until it's completely mush. Just give it a nice couple minutes under the steam and covered, and it's gonna just soften everything really nice. And you will have a very nice, can you see it without me spilling it too much? Very nice stir fry. Flavor it however you want. Add some grains. I always sound like I say greens. Add some grains, add some meat, add some beans, and make a meal matrix meal one pot at a time. Eat healthy, eat whole foods, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.